Hello, friends. November 4th, 1914. The British ship Endurance. Cutting through stormy waves, it was heading toward the world's most dangerous and mysterious continent, Antarctica. On deck were 28 brave men, and the leader of them all, Sir Ernest Shackleton. A dream no human had ever fulfilled, to cross Antarctica on foot. Yes, friends, you heard it right. No smartphone, no GPS, no modern technology. Minus 50 degrees Celsius cold, blinding snowstorms, and this man walking from one edge to the other. The goal? Land via the Weddell Sea, step ashore, cross the South Pole, then exit to the Ross Sea. Total journey, 2,900 kilometers. Calculated time, 120 days. But what was about to happen? Neither they knew, nor perhaps you can imagine.
November 5th, 1914, Endurance reaches the whaling station on South Georgia Island. This was the last human settlement. Just south of it, the Antarctic Peninsula juts out, and beside it, the Weddell Sea. Surrounded by Antarctica on three sides, ice here remains packed in. Getting out is not easy. The weather was bad, the sea unforgiving. Locals warned, delay the mission, but Shackleton said, now, and the ship did not change course. December 5th, 1914, the ice was denser than expected. Still, forward, only forward. January 18th, 1915, the ship was gripped by ice. A few days later, 50 meters away, a 15-foot crack in the ice, the last hope. For 3 hours, the engines ran at full speed, but the ship didn't budge. The crew got out and tried cutting the ice. No use. The ice floe was slowly drifting farther from land. Fossil Bay, where they had to land, was now 60 miles behind. Open water in between. Neither could they go on foot nor free the ship.
Months passed. The winter night, Antarctica's winter, where darkness lasts 24 hours, arrived. Shackleton ordered, "We will spend the winter on the ship." The pressure of the ice kept increasing, and photographer Frank Hurley captured this history forever in images. September 30th, 1915. Cracks appeared in the ship, but hope was still alive. October 24th, 1915, 6:45 p.m. The pressure of the ice suddenly broke loose. A heavy block of ice struck the ship. The stern post broke. Water began to pour in. The crew pumped continuously for 3 days, but the water was faster, hands too few. Outside, minus 8.5 degrees Celsius. No one's courage broke, but escaping the ice ring wasn't possible. At last, Shackleton said, "Abandon ship." Endurance, trapped for 9 months, was now a matter of time. October 27th, 1915, a blast. The ship's rear lifted 20 feet. The rudder broke. The bow filled with water. Everything began splintering. Luckily, everyone had already disembarked. The water froze into ice, and the added weight pulled the ship's front down. Shackleton's dream, to cross Antarctica on foot, sank beneath the ice. Now only one question remained. Could they return alive? No radio, no telephone, no contact with the world. On a drifting sheet of ice, they set up camp. An audit. What remained? 3 small boats, 1 sledge, some essential gear, and only 1 month's rations. A little space to sleep at night. The rest, sleeping pressed onto the ice. They hadn't seen a human for a year. The world didn't know whether they were alive or not. Shackleton had only one thing: faith in his leadership. But for how long? What when the rations ran out? The ice could break any moment. They needed land.
On the map, they found the nearest refuge, Paulet Island, 550 kilometers away. The same island where, after 1903, rescue gear had been stored, purchased by Shackleton himself. Now, 12 years later, he needed it most. The decision: tie the supplies onto sledges, no more than 2 pounds per man. Shackleton left his gold coins and Bible in the snow. Of Hurley's 400 negatives, he could take only 150. And those very 150 bring this story to us today. A few weeks later, hunger forced them to kill the pet puppies. With summer, the ice softened. Dragging sledges became torment. 3 hours of labor, only 1 mile gained. Shackleton said, "Stop. The ice floe itself will carry us closer to land." This was Ocean Camp. November 21st, 1915. Endurance disappeared completely under the ice. From afar, they watched their world sink. The last link to civilization cut. Then, the floe began drifting east, away from land. December 23rd, again they tried marching. Again, thin ice and open water blocked them. Back to camp. Rations were tightened. 1 biscuit a day, some milk, cocoa, and canned fat. Hunting seals and penguins an unwanted necessity. Reality, food was short. But Shackleton lied to his men. "Don't worry, there's plenty of food." Why? Because the biggest battle here was mental. Friends, in life's great wars, the mind wins first, then the body. Months went by. March 23rd, 1916, the fog lifted. Distant mountains, Joinville Island. But that meant Paulet was left behind. Ahead, only 2 small options: Clarence Island, Elephant Island. And beyond that, the ruthless Drake Passage. Waves 12 meters high, over 800 ships lost, more than 20,000 lives gone. Reaching there was equal to death. Hunger grew so much that scraps meant for dogs had to feed the men. Drinking water, melting ice in small tins using body heat, just a few spoonfuls. There was also a stowaway, Blackborough, who had secretly boarded the ship. Shackleton had joked, "If food runs out, you'll be the first we eat." Fortunately, one day they found a sea leopard, 1,000 pounds of meat. Some dogs were also sacrificed, and a few months of rations were secured. April 7th, 1916, Clarence came into view, around 83 kilometers away. The wind shifted, pushed them east. Ahead, nothing, only water. The ice floe shrank, now only 50 meters long. Forced to lower all 3 boats into the water, toward Clarence. On the way, they found another floe, set up camp, and it cracked immediately. Fireman Ernie Holness fell into the water, risk of hypothermia. No way to light a fire. Shackleton's order? Keep walking until your clothes dry with body heat. He walked the entire night and survived. The wind kept changing its course. Destinations kept changing. Clarence, King George, Hope Bay, finally, Elephant Island. They kept moving north. The temperature rose to -8 degrees Celsius. Ice thinner, water scarcer. Lips split, throats parched. To swallow food, raw seal meat. Elephant Island, 50 kilometers away. April 15th, 1916. The 3 boats touched shore. After 497 days, their feet stood on land. The desolate, uninhabited rock felt like heaven after the hell we'd endured. But troubles weren't over. Blackborough lost feeling in his legs. Rickinson suffered a heart attack. Elephant Island, empty of human settlement. No contact, no help. On the map, 3 routes. Cape Horn, 800 kilometers. Falklands, 880 kilometers. Both meant the Drake Passage. Third, South Georgia, 1,300 kilometers, but with more favorable winds. Shackleton chose the third. He couldn't take everyone. 5 men were selected. The rest stayed camped on Elephant Island. April 24th, 1916, a small boat into the world's most dangerous waters. 4 hours rowing, 4 hours rest. But rest on what kind of boat? Waves crashed over them. They vomited. Spirits cracked. April, Antarctica's winter. Only a few hours of sun for navigation. Many times waves nearly swamped the boat, but fate spared them. There was food, but they couldn't sit to eat, so they ate lying down. For the first time, Shackleton shouted at a circling bird. His courage was tiring. But the goal was near. 3 miles from South Georgia, a storm. The boat swung in the winds, oars down, only fate above. Winds eased, clouds cleared, South Georgia ahead. Now, just 1 mile, they rowed with whatever strength remained. May 10th, 1916, after 3 weeks of war with the sea, they set foot on South Georgia, the very island from which they had departed 522 days earlier. But the settlement was on the other side. 2 ways, another 130 miles by sea or 29 miles on foot, across mountains no one had ever crossed. The boat was shattered, so what remained? On foot. The whalers considered it impassable, but Shackleton had never learned to surrender. They gathered strength for 9 days in a cave at King Haakon Bay. Penguins, seals, albatross provided food. May 19th, 1916, at 3 a.m. Only 3 men, Shackleton, Worsley, Crean. They even left sleeping bags, setting off with only the warmth of their souls. Snow up to the knees. No one knew the route. They climbed peak after peak, searched for a way from the summits. If none there, they descended and tried another. 3 times what seemed a lake turned out to be the sea. At last a steep slope, no way back. They tied themselves with rope, cut steps into the ice, and descended. In the distance, the Stromness whaling station. Humans. After 36 hours, May 20th, 1916, they crossed the Allardyce Range. For the first time in history, South Georgia was crossed on foot. Shackleton, in torn clothes, a blackened face, deep eyes, but alive. The station manager recognized him. Is that Shackleton, missing for 2 years? Clothes, food, a bed. Next day, Worsley brought the remaining 3 companions. But Shackleton's heart was stuck with the 22 men on Elephant Island. 3 rescue attempts. Each time the ice stopped the ship. An icebreaker was requested from the British. Discovery could be given, but would take time. Shackleton wasn't willing to wait. From Chile, a ship, Yelcho. August 25th, 1916, new resolve. August 30th, Elephant Island, and the scene that brings tears to the eyes. On Elephant Island, Shackleton had made Frank Wild the leader before leaving. They built a shelter by overturning 2 boats. Spent 128 days. Every morning, Frank shouted, "Pack your bags, friends. The boss could come today." And the boss did not come. 4 months, 6 days. Blackborough's foot had gangrene. It had to be amputated. They were finally preparing to leave for Deception Island when far away, a ship, Yelcho. The hope that called to them every morning today was slicing the waves in reality. Shackleton counted 22, all alive. After 2 years fighting ice, mountains, and sea, Shackleton brought back 27 out of 27. This isn't just leadership, it is a testament to human resolve. 106 years later, 2022, 10,000 feet beneath the Weddell Sea, Endurance was found. The icy world had preserved her, the wood still clearly visible. And on South Georgia, Shackleton's grave, the man who could not cross Antarctica on foot, but achieved something greater. He brought his entire team back alive. If this story touched you, like and subscribe. Thank you.